Back in 2017, I first put this bill forward, and some outside group pretty much killed it because of scare tactics, that it was going to lead to a death panel and people would be pretty much killed if they had palliative care. It was terrible. Well, I didn't have a lot of knowledge, or at least maybe firsthand experience. But then came the summer of 2017, later that summer. It was my niece's wedding out in Cincinnati. My parents were there, and my mom was in a wheelchair. They're in their 80s. And my dad looked white as a ghost, breathing heavy. And we went to him, my brothers and I, and said, "What's going on?" And he said he's just short of breath and everything. So we urged him to go see the cardiologist in Omaha, Nebraska, where he was, living with Mom. He did in October, and the cardiologist at Creighton University Medical Center said to him that you have congestive heart failure, get your affairs in order, you have 3 to 6 months to live. Well, my brother in Cincinnati talked to us and said, "Listen, we've got pretty good heart specialists out here, plus we have a palliative care system." So they moved him out there in the early part of 2018. He got there, he got the proper treatment, he got a heart monitor. Cardiologist did a great job, but then palliative care kicked in. Now, both of my parents at this time had "do not resuscitate" bands on if something happened to them. So they made that decision already on their own. But they still wanted to have some type of quality of life to be able to enjoy kids and grandkids. So they were able to get my father down in pounds, and he actually got to go out and golf again before the congestive heart disease started coming back. But that was in 2018. And in that time period, 6 great-grandchildren were born. So he finally did. What the palliative care did was it brought together a social worker, which coordinated with my brother, which got dialysis into it, physical therapy into it, and other aspects, all instead of the individual having to reach out themselves. Palliative care is in my town, Wausau, and Aspirus, in Green Bay area. It's excellent palliative care. It's not a death panel. My father finally, in June of 2022, where dialysis couldn't work anymore because of his blood pressure, transitioned into hospice and died in June. But again, quality time, and he got to meet some great grandkids in the meantime. So it's not some death panel. There's not some operation where people are going to overdose these patients. I don't know where that comes from. That group, basically the bridge is burned with me. So don't ever come back to me for anything, because this is not that. This is something that is good, especially when we're growing in an older demographic. So the vote is yes.